begins with Ibrahim alayhi salam. Ibrahim alayhi salam was responsible for putting a building together. Somewhere. It's a little closer to your neighborhood. Anybody familiar? Ibrahim alayhi salam is responsible for building this building with his older son. Along with his older son, whose name is? Ismail. And they're building this building together. And as they're finishing this building, they both make a dua to Allah together. They make a dua to Allah together. And the dua they make, there's two parts of it. I'll share both of them with you. He said, رَبَّنَا وَاجْعَلْنَا مُسْلِمَيْنِ لَكَ وَمِنْ ذُرِّيَّتِنَا أُمَّةً مُسْلِمَةً لَكَ. Make both of us Muslim before you. So who's both of us? When this prayer is happening, who's both of us? You tell me. Ibrahim and Ismail, okay? The other side. They said, Ya Allah, make sure we're both Muslim. And from our future generations, there should be at least one Muslim nation. Give us at least how many? Ummatan, not umaman, ummatan, muslimatan, lak. They asked for how many Muslim nations? One, okay. Later on, these two again made another dua in the same process. They're building the Kaaba, they're raising the foundations of it, and they make another dua. And their dua is, رَبَّنَا وَابْعَثْ فِيهِمْ رَسُولًا مِّنْهُمْ يَتْلُو عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتِكَ. Our Master, raise among that Muslim nation, or among these children of ours, future generations, one messenger. رَسُولًا, not رَسُولًا, رَسُولًا مِّنْهُمْ. A messenger among them. How many messengers did they ask for? One. How many messengers came on the other side? Every generation. You remember that? But for the older son, what did Ibrahim alayhi salam ask for? One messenger. This messenger should be so incredible that even if they get all their messengers in every generation, this one scores more and is heavier and is more magnificent than all of them put together. All of them put together. Who do you think that is? That's the messenger of Allah, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So there's no messenger. By the way, there were no messengers for so long that the masjid that they built a masjid, didn't they? The masjid that they built became a temple for idols. That's a really long time. I don't imagine anytime soon this masjid will be a temple. You can't imagine. It would have to be a long time. And all the Muslims have died and their children have died and nobody was able to teach the deen anymore and so much corruption happened that there were idols inside the masjid. Because you have to understand, the Kaaba was always a masjid. That's always been the house of Allah. It's al-masjid al-haram. So the fact that there are idols in there, you can expect idols inside a Hindu temple. You can expect an idol inside a Buddhist temple. But to expect an idol or numbers of idols inside where? A masjid. That's shocking. That's shocking. That tells you how long things had gone on and that one messenger they asked for hasn't come. He hasn't come. Now, who was used to getting messenger after messenger after messenger? Yeah, they got really used to it. Until Allah sent them their last one. The last one Allah sent them, his name is Isa, alayhi salam. Okay, the last one for them was who? Isa. Okay, let's go back. I need to see if you remember, because that's a lot of names now. Who's the grandfather? Okay, then on this side, on the Bani Israel side, who's his son? Ishaq. Ishaq's son is? Yaqub's son is? 12 sons, one of them is who? Yusuf. Somebody said Isa. Wake up! Okay. Now Yusuf alayhi salam, and then after him generation and generation and generation of prophets, and things keep going and going and going and going and going. Eventually the last one for them, who? Isa alayhi salam. And if they were bad to prophets, they were the worst to Isa. They were the worst. They were never worse to anybody else than Isa alayhi salam. Actually, they started insulting him even when he was a baby. At least let him grow up a little before you go after him. You know, they started it from day one. They went after him and they went after his mother. They didn't even spare his mom. And they finally, not only did they insult him and make lies against him, even when he was a baby, eventually they even conspired to what? To kill him. But Allah didn't let them kill him. And Allah removed him from them. When He removed him from them, Allah decided something. Allah decided no more prophets for you. It stopped. The last one was who? Isa. Then almost 600 years go by, no prophets for them. The well has run dry. They were used to getting it every generation, and then it stopped. For almost 6 centuries. So now they are really appreciating, yeah, we wish we had a messenger again. Oh, because the books told us there's one more coming, and he's going to be from the family of Ibrahim, and he's going to be from the son of Ibrahim. He's coming, we're waiting for him. And they were waiting for him, and waiting for him, and waiting for him, and he wasn't coming. And you know what? That time, some of them were living in the Arab world. Some of them were living in Arabia. And sometimes they used to fight with the children of Ismail. The people of Quraysh. They used to have fights. And they used to lose all the time. And when they lost, they used to say, you got us this time. But the final messenger is coming. You watch. When he comes, we're going to get you. He's coming. The score is going to be, oh, ho, ho. And so he came. But the problem was, according to them, he came to the wrong address. He was supposed to come on this side, and he came on, which family? The children of Ismail. And they're like, oh, what? How does that work? We can't have that. So they went back in their books, and they said, wait, Allah told us there's a prophet coming. Where's it? It was there. They had it. They kind of forgot to, because he didn't come for so long, they decided that they won't even talk about the fact that he will come from the older son's lineage. I'll stop the story for a second. I'll tell you something I learned recently. There's an amazing scholar of Islamic history, incredible scholar. A lot of people don't know him. He's an Indian alim. He died in the early 1900s. His name is Hamiduddin Farahi. Hamiduddin Farahi. I'll tell you something about what makes him amazing. This man, this Indian scholar, he traveled to Syria, to Morocco, to Hijaz to study deen. He studied hadith, tafsir, Quran in the 1800s. He traveled back then. There were no flights back then, by the way. Right? And he studied religion for about 50 years of his life. He studied Islam. And then he decided that he wants to understand the Jewish religion.